Okay, Sag, welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see what's going on for you. This is a reading for April 2024. Let's see what messages want to come through for you. If it's appropriate, I'll pull cards for each zodiac sign. I'll let you know as we get through the reading if it's appropriate for me to do that in the extended, to go deeper into the reading, to give you more advice or more insight. All right, so Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Feel free to swap around the energies. As always, I could be talking to a cross watcher. Stormy, I'm seeing nature spirits under here and shadow. This is, some of you are opening up new gifts, okay? Can be opening up to nature spirits, can be opening up to the clairs, right? We're talking about that in Pathfinders right now. About our eighth and ninth chakra and how they house clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyant, telepathy, other kinds of gifts. And the shadow aspect of it is that it's sort of like a cycle. It's like when you get triggered by something, if you go deeper, the storm may get louder, but then you gain understanding, which is this knowledge. And I don't know why the underneath of the deck is speaking to me so loudly, but the guides are here and we have that new moon eclipse in April. So let's, obviously this is a reading for April, so let's just pursue this a little bit. I keep getting this friendship card, which may be a different message. Friendship and death. Good fortune. Okay. That may be a different message. So I'm just going to put that over here until it becomes relevant. But right away, when I see those cards, I am feeling that something shifts from being a friendship into being more of an intimate partnership. Okay. It could be a business partnership, or it could be a partnership of love. That's what the seventh house talks about. It talks about intimate partnership. So it doesn't have to just be a love relationship, but I'm feeling that there's something going on subconsciously or with a person that you're interested in, that they are going through some kind of storm. You could be simultaneously doing that and opening up your spiritual gifts more and more. One of those gifts might be telepathy. The April 8th eclipse may be opening up telepathy with a twin flame or with a very powerful soulmate. All right, so let's see what else is going on for Sag here. Saggies, what is going on, babies? Yeah, I see this wheel. I'm taking that. And the Six of Swords, the High Priestess, the Chariot. Wow. The Emperor and the Two of Cups here. Look at that. Judgment. So this is a very strong moment. April is a strong turning point here. Destined, fated connections coming together in real time, right? Like in a 3D experience. And I feel like it has to do with, the person you might be dealing with. Okay, I'm getting this download right now. The person you may be dealing with may be struggling or working on pushing back on their feelings for you. Don't want to have them, okay? Don't want to have them for whatever reason. But the telepathy is opening. The telepathy, maybe you've seen them in dreams in some way, or you are going to be seeing them in dreams. I feel like you're going to need to pay attention to dream space for the totality of April, because I do feel like it's especially this new moon that we're having in Aries, which is an eclipse, the very strong eclipse, solar eclipse that we're having April 8th. You're going to need to pay attention to that. At the same time, in April, we have in Aries, which is a fire sign, which is compatible with you. All the fire signs trine each other. Okay. And that means there's flowy energy between you, among you. So the Aries time period is a very powerful time period in which you may be opening up to these skills. I also feel like especially if this person we're talking about here is not particularly spiritual, this may freak them out a little bit, a lot. Okay, and I feel like they want to see you. They want to see you. They want to try and understand, right? They want to try and understand what's going on here. Um, okay, so Saggies, Seven of Swords, you're showing up as the Seven of Swords, which is about things that are going on under the surface. This can be a feeling of not being told the total truth by your partner, by this person, or you can be hiding your own feelings, and maybe being a little avoidant here, not wanting to. It's likely you're both kind of in this energy. And so there might have been something that was like, yeah, we're just friends. You might have stepped away from the connection at some point or pulled back from it. They've pulled back from it or something like that. If someone wants to pull back from a relationship, let them. The best thing you can do is just let them pull back, because that's an indicator that they need space. And so one of two things will happen. They'll either come toward you because it's like, oh, you get me. I want to come toward you because you make sense to me that we have the same needs, or they will be gone for good. And either way, you'll know. And if you have, especially with anxious people, and if you have read anything about attachment styles, you know, or you just know that you're anxious around relationships, then you're going to need to learn to self-soothe. It's not really a partner's job to soothe the anxieties that come up in you. In fact, that can get very exhausting for another person to do. That's really your responsibility, okay, is to work on your anxiety and self-soothe and be invested in your life. This is where radical self-love matters. Not just because of a relationship or no relationship. Forget about that. This is about you having your best life. And that's one of the ways you can do it, is for you to learn about your own needs. There's a difference between a legitimate need that a partner fulfills and something that you need to work on for yourself, because our job is not to just plug into another person and for us to fill all their unmet needs and they fill all our unmet needs. That's how we get drained in relationships. That's how that happens. So what I'm asking you to embrace is this kind of radical self-love where I am not to a hyper independent stage, but sort of like, you know what? If I have a feeling about something, I'm learning to work through it for myself. Doesn't mean you don't have conversations. Doesn't mean that this person doesn't fulfill certain needs for you and you for them. But there is a line to which, and a very unconscious way of being in relationship, is we expect the other person to be everything to us and vice versa. And that has roots in your shadow, okay? Unmet needs from childhood. It also has roots in this philosophy around how you're seeing relationship that may come from a very unawakened place. It's just like a visceral feeling, like you're supposed to be everything to me. Not really. Not really. Sag, and you are super independent. You're very independent. You're also somebody who has a lot of optimism about your partners. And so some of you are learning about this. That's what I'm getting here. Some of you are learning about being able to radically embrace self-love and not, sort of be all over a partner. Okay, I feel like this is more like, okay, I need my alone time kind of thing. The situation is the Three of Pentacles. Opportunity is the Moon. So we definitely have lots of moon energy coming up in this reading. And that eclipse, as I'm doing this reading, I'm in the shadow. We're in the shadow right now of another eclipse that happens on March 25th. And that is in Libra. So there could be some activity before we even get to April. Okay, Three of Pentacles is about building something together. And that's bringing in this good fortune card again. It's like we're moving on from casual into something more in depth. Okay. It could be a business partner, but also could be a love partner or both, because I'm seeing this love energy going on here. So the Six of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Page of Swords. So if you have, I feel like some of you have stepped back, that Seven of Swords, like some of you have moved away from a partner, and there's a lot of mystery between the two of you. A lot of mystery between the two of you. This is like the inner children of the two of you. The Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. Page of Wands is the one who is the more passionate of the two. The Page of Swords is the one who's more cerebral of the two. Fire and air, very masculine energies here. And I feel like one of the things that we're working on healing independently, and maybe to a degree in a relationship, is our own ego, which does tie into what I said about the other person having to be the one who fulfills every need of yours and vice versa. That's an egoic stance. Okay. That's something that says, my needs, my feelings are important, which they are, so important that you need to kind of drop everything. And I'm not saying you're doing this. This is an extreme example that the other person needs to drop everything to make sure you're okay. And there are instances in very healthy relationships when it's appropriate to drop everything to go and support your partner. No question about it. But as an ongoing thing, especially if you are plugged into or aligning with the idea an anxious person needs a lot of reassurance, then let's go back to inner child work. This is a shadow. This is a shadow. This is a shadow aspect of not being really cared for or seen. And I feel like that's what's bringing up a lot of these feelings again. So this stage of this relationship is really about healing. And it's about seeing those triggers, seeing that radical self-love is something that is such a healing force in both of us, in both of these relationships. In April, I feel like you're really building something for yourself, Three of Pentacles, but also possibly with this person. You may be a master of a certain part of life. They're a master at a certain other part of life. And this moon, I just love this moonlight is sort of like, to me, it's like you're helping them, they're helping you, but you're not abandoning yourself. You're not saying, or you're not expecting the other person to abandon themselves either. All right. And this is what brings good fortune. This is a balancing that is needed for this to flourish. And I just feel like like I'm talking to a group of Saggies who are struggling with this, or knowing that they're maybe in a connection with somebody who might be a twin flame or who might be a very powerful soulmate. And so right away that anxiety comes up of like, oh my God, I can't lose you. And that's what's going to start a cycle of abandonment. So I feel like this reading is coming through so you can gain some knowledge around, and your guides are trying to speak to you and say, hey, radical self-love. When that comes up for you, it's not about somebody else. This is about you. So the Page of Swords is also a card of messages. So what are the messages that are wanting to come through for Sag? Eight of Pentacles. Focus on your work, strength, overcoming challenges, overcoming obstacles. The Empress, embracing divine feminine energy and allowing so that love can flow. These are super important pieces. Working on yourself and maybe focusing on your work or your money. The Strength card is about overcoming challenges. And when we do overcome challenges, the next time we have a challenge, we're more self-confident. If we're constantly, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but if we're always seeking out an external magician or someone who is going to wave a magic wand and help us, or some kind of like daddy issue where you're going to, daddy's going to save me from everything, then you become not resilient and someone who feels like they can't solve their own problems. And then that handicaps you. So, this moment in time, whether this relationship is in the future, in the past for you, happening, unfolding right now, the lesson of this is super radical self love. The guides are trying to open up to you on the new moon coming into April. And let's see how that unfolds. I'm going to look at what you don't see coming next 30 days. I will pull cards for each zodiac sign for you to get a sense of what's going on with that person. All right. So Saggies, link is in the description box below if you want to continue on with me, and let's go deeper into this reading. All right. Link is below. I'll see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.